Hello everyone. So welcome back to another lesson, and this is going to be the lesson for you for Wednesday. Okay, so today we'll be completing the lesson because it's going to be a very easy one. But before we start the lesson, let's check the homework. I think many of you have completed. Okay, just a small message before I start the lesson for today. Some of you are sending the homework which you are doing on Edmodo, but please girls, yeah, it's good that you're doing the homework, but do check your answers because I can find some mistakes there. That's why I write under each picture, please check your answers from the next video. Do make sure that you check your answers very carefully because I cannot comment. I don't want to say this is the mistake because everyone will see it, right? So always better it's okay, you just put the homework for me to see that you have done the homework, but be sure and make sure that you check your homeworks from the next video, because that's very important, because you cannot write a wrong answer in the homework and then when you need, you cannot study from the wrong answer, right? Especially, let me show you the questions which I noted were wrong from the pictures which you girls put. Question number 6, I think most of you have got wrong this question as well as question number 5. So be careful about these two questions, and also some with question number 3. So make sure that these 3 questions are right. So from, I guess from today's video, that is, yeah, from Tuesday's video, you need to find out the answers are correct or not, especially these 2 questions. Do make sure and listen to the explanation what I have given there. Okay, so let's continue with the remaining part of the homework. So here again they have asked you to give 2 solutions of the inequality. K is less than 2, so any number which is less than 2 you can write it for K. So we need to give 2 solutions, means K can be 1 because 1 is less than 2. Let me choose a negative number, because you know always negative numbers are smaller than the positive ones, right? So K also can be negative 4, or you can write 0.5. Any number which is less than 2 you can write. If you have written any number which is less than 2, your answer will be correct. Okay, now for the next part, question number 8, we have Z is greater or less than greater or equal to negative 3. So Z is greater or equal to negative 3 means you have to choose a number which is greater than negative 3. So any number which is more than negative 3. What are the numbers more than negative 3? Negative 2, negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, anything. Any positive number can be taken, or you can even take Z to be equal to negative 1, because you know negative 1 is greater than negative 3. Also you can take any decimal number, any fraction, anything girls, anything which is greater than negative 3. So let me take this as 4.5. Okay, so 4.5 is greater or equal to negative 3, or even you can say Z is negative 3 too. Why? Because negative 3 is equal to negative 3, right? So you can also say that Z is also equal to negative 3. Now you cannot compare, you cannot say that teacher wrote these answers, I will write the same. No, because this is a matter of common sense. If whatever number you write more than greater than negative 3 will be okay for this. Whichever number you write less than 2 will be okay for this. Okay, now this is going to be F is less than or equal to negative 5. So any number less than negative 5, which means if this is the number line, negative 5 is here. Any number which comes in this part of the number line, you can write it for this solution. So F can be, what are the numbers which comes to the left of negative 5? It's going to be -6, -7, any number, right? Because you know, the more the numbers go away from 0, the more they become less and less. This is only for negative numbers. So f can be -8, or f can also be negative 5.5, right? Because 5.5 comes in between 6 and 5. Or also for this inequality, you can say f is also equal to -5, because there is an equal sign here, see? So f can also be equal to -5. Any number which you have written which is less than -5, -6, -7, -100, -150, it's all okay, because it can satisfy this inequality. Okay, now the problem solving question. The inequality, this is the inequality. S is greater than 92 represents the scores that Jared must earn on his next test to get an A on his report card. Okay, so this is the inequality. To get an A on his report card, he should use this inequality. Give 2 possible scores that Jared could earn to get the A. Now, what is this inequality? It means S is greater than or equal to 92. So you need to have a number here which is greater than 92 or equal to 92. Now girls, please don't write S can be 1000, because this question is about scores. Score means the marks. What is the maximum marks we are going to get? 100, right? Whatever you do, it's out of 100. So it should be something between 92 and 100. Don't write 1050, 1095 like that, because how can the scores be like that? Fine. So S can be 95, because if he gets 95, 95 is greater than 92, so he can get an A. So they say 2 possibilities, right? Yeah, 2. So next one is S is going to be how much? It can be 98.8 also, right? Because these are marks. You know how you get marks: 98.75, 93.5. It can be in decimals also. So any number which you have written between 92 till 100 will be correct, whether they are decimal or whether it is a fraction. Like 92.5 is also correct. 92.75 is also correct. Okay, it's not necessary you should write only the numbers which I wrote. Okay, question number 11. The inequality M is less than or equal to $20 represent the amount of money that Sheila is allowed to spend on a new hat. Give 2 possible money amounts that Sheila could spend on that hat. So Sheila has to spend less than 20 or equal to 20. So what are how much can Sheila buy the hat for? Either she can buy the hat for $20, because here it is equal to, so 20 can be equal to 20, or she has to choose anything which is less than 20. So maybe she can buy a hat for $17, which is also correct. So any number which is less than 20, any number which is less than 20 till 0.01, you can write, because you know we cannot have $0, right? How can you have $0? $0 means there is no price, they're giving it for free. Can you say it as -$3? -$3 means the shopkeeper has to give you the money. Will any shopkeeper give you the money? Of course not. So you can choose any number which is less than from 20 till 0.01. If you find any hat which will cost 0.01, you can choose that, but I don't think so you will find any. So you can choose any number between 20 till hardly $5. That's it. Okay, so it can be $5.5, $10.75, anything, but it should be less than or equal to 20. Okay, now this is page number 470, the first question here. 3 of the following are solutions. So there are 3 numbers which can be the solutions for this one. G is greater than, less than or equal to 100 minus 1.5. Which one is not a solution? This word not is what makes trouble everywhere. in the exams, in the quiz, everywhere, because you girls do not see this word not. Okay, so they are asking which is not a solution. We have -4, -7.5, 0 and -2.5. So this is our inequality. G is less than -1.5. Okay, so if I write -4 here, is -4 less than -1.5? Yes, it is, because -4 is far from 0, right? -1.5 is more closer to 0. What about -7.5? If I write -7.5 is less than 1.5? Yes, it is, because -7.5 is more far away from 0 than -1.5. Now, if I put that in a number line, this is 0, this is 1, this is -1, -2. So -1.5 is somewhere here between -2 and -1. So where is -7.5 going to be? -3. It's very far. So it's of course lesser. The more the numbers are far from 0, the more lesser they become. What about -2.5? -2.5. Where is -2.5? It's between -2 and -3. So is it lesser than -1.5? Yes, because it's far from 0 than 1.5. So which is the only solution? Which is not a solution for this? Of course 0, because 0 is here. So 0 is not less than -1.5. So G is equal to 0 is not the solution, because 0 is here, -1.5 is here. So 0 is of course greater than any negative number. Remember, I told you yesterday also, 0 can show its power only with negative numbers, not with the positive ones. So 0 is always greater than negative numbers. Okay, the last question for the homework for yesterday. The inequality W is greater or equal to 3.2 represents the weight of each pumpkin in pounds that is allowed to be picked to be sold. The weights of pumpkins are listed. How many pumpkins can be sold? Which pumpkins can be sold? So these are the weights they have given. They have given us 5, 3.18, 4, 3.2, 3.4 and 3.15. And the inequality given is it has to be greater or equal to 3.2. right? Now I already told you yesterday, always when you're comparing, make sure that both the sides of the inequality has the same amount of digits. So 0.38, this is the first one I'm doing, is greater or equal to 3.2. Here we have 1 2 3 1 2. So to make it 3, we need to add a 0. Is 3.18 greater than 3.20? No, right? So this cannot be. Now the next one is 4. Is 4 greater than 3.2? What do you do here to make it 1 2? So we add a 0 and also the decimal point. So 4.0, is it greater than 3.2? Yes, it is. The next one is 3.2. Is it greater or equal to 3.2? It's equal, so we can say this is also correct. Next one is 3.4, which is greater or equal to 3.2. Is this correct? Yes, because 3.4 is greater than 3.2. The last one we have is 3.15. Is it greater or equal to 3.2? How do you find this out? We have 1 2 3. So 1 2 3. We add a 0. So 3.15, is it greater than 3.20? Of course not, because this is 0.15 and this is 0.0. 15 is less than 0, so it's not. So how many how many pumpkins can be sold? 1 2 3. So 3 pumpkins. And how do you write the answer in a proper way? There are 2 questions. How many pumpkins can be sold? So 3 pumpkins can be sold. Which pumpkins can be sold? The ones which we got the inequality to be correct. So the weight of the first one is 4. So 4 pounds. Then which is the next one? 3.2 pounds. And which is the next one? 3.4 pounds can be sold. Okay, so that was the end of your homework for yesterday. Okay, so let's move on with today's lesson. Today's lesson is going to be a super easy one. Only that you need to just listen to me for 2 minutes so that you can understand what you need to do. Okay, girls, so let's start with the new lesson. That's chapter 8, lesson number 9, and page number 471. So I want you all to open up that page. Chapter 8, lesson 9, page 471. And the lesson is about writing inequalities. So now we are going to write the inequalities in numbers as well as the words. Okay, it's going to be very easy one. So let's quickly start it. See this. The highest temperature ever recorded at the South Pole was 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Write an inequality to show that the temperature T in degrees Fahrenheit at the South Pole is less than or equal to 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, see this part. Here also again, you have to underline the keywords. So what did they say? Write an inequality to show that the temperature T, okay, at the South Pole is less than or equal, this is the key word for us, to 8 degrees Fahrenheit. So keeping these three things, we can easily write the inequality. What's the variable given? T, right? Less than or equal means which symbol are you going to be using? Remember the symbols we learned? Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. These are the two new symbols we learned. Other than that, you know this is less, this is greater, right? So just putting a line under that makes it equal to. So less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So here less than or equal to means we are going to use less, which is like an L, or equal to 8. That's it. This is what you're going to be doing here, nothing else. Okay, so here as usual they want you to do each and everything. So the temperature is T. Less than or equal to means less than or equal to 8. So already we wrote it here, we don't even need to write it here. So an inequality that describes the temperature T in degrees Fahrenheit at the South Pole is T less than or equal to 8. That's it. Okay, so here what they asked you to do, underline the words that tell you which inequality symbol to use. So already we underlined here, you must also underline. That's why I always keep saying underline the important words. Okay, let's go for try this. The directors of an animal shelter need to raise raise more than 50,000 during a fundraiser. So more than. Okay, write an inequality that represents the amount of money M in dollars that the directors need. So which symbol are you going to be using here? Which sign are you going to use? More than. This is why you have to read the question slowly and underline the important words. So the amount of money is M. More than means you are only going to use the sign because they didn't say equal to. And what is the amount? To raise more than 50,000 means it should be 50,000 here. So an inequality that describes the amount of money in M dollars is M is greater than 50,000. That's it. This is your lesson for today. So let's complete the remaining part of the lesson. Let's try example number 1. Okay, write an inequality for the word sentence. Tell what type of numbers the variable in the inequality can represent. So the weight is less than, which is the important word here. Now you underline it first. Which is the important word? Less than 3.5 pounds. So the weight, we don't know the weight, so let's name it as W. Okay, so weight is W. See, already they gave, let W represent the unknown weight. So already we chose W. Less than 3.5 pounds. Simple as that. Part B, there must be at least 65 police officers on duty. Now at least, this word at least means what? Now if I say you must at least get 8 marks, means can you get 7? No. you should get 8 or more than 8 when I say at least 8. So whenever you have this word 8 means it should be more than or equal. Always remember this word. Okay, always remember that teacher said I should at least get 8 marks. So at least means you should get more than 8 or at least an 8, not 6 or 7, right? So there must be at least means more than or equal to 65 police officers on duty. So see here, the phrase at least is equivalent to, what does it mean? Is more than or equal to. So we don't know the number of police officers, so let's name it as P. Is greater than or equal to 65. Where P is a negative number or a positive number, P is the number of police officers. Okay, so police officers, they are people. Can they be minus? Can I say minus 3 police officers? Right? No, they should be positive because we are talking about people. So it should be a positive number. Okay, now write 2 words. Now let's do example number 2. Write 2 word sentences for the inequality. Now again, here they gave us the words and we wrote the inequality. Here they have given us the inequality. We have to write it in words. Nothing. You simply need to understand what the symbol means. Okay, what does the symbol mean? Less than or equal to. So n is less than or equal to 0.3. As simple as that. Now because we are dealing with English again, the sentences, we have 2 ways to write it. Okay, so you can also say n is no. This is the opposite word. So what's the opposite word of less? More. So no more than 0.3. Easy, right? Okay, A is, what's the symbol? A is correct, greater. So A is greater than negative 4. Okay, now if I'm using the word no, what's the opposite of greater? Lesser. So A is no lesser than negative 4. If you're using the word no, you have to use the opposite of the symbol. If you're not using the word no, you just write as it is. Easy. Okay, because that's English. So because when we use the word no, we have to use the opposite word of the sentence. Okay, now open up page 400. Wait. Yeah, same. Page 473. You just have 1 page of questions to be done. So I'm giving you 2 minutes. Okay, do the whole page. That's question number 1 till... Okay, question number 1 till 5 and question number 7. I'll give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes is more than enough. So start doing it now. Your time starts now. Okay, girls, I gave you extra 1 minute, so that was altogether 3 minutes, and I think that was too much to just to do these few questions. Okay, so let's check the answers together. If you have a red pen, you can use the red pen to check it by yourself, but don't tell anyone the teacher has to use the red pen. Okay, write an inequality for the word sentence. So you need to write an inequality for these words. Tell what type of numbers the variable in the inequality can represent. Means you have to say that the letter which we are choosing is positive or negative, just like here we wrote, see, where p is a positive number, so same like that we have to say here. Okay, so the first one, the elevation E is, did you underline the keywords? Did you? I can see smiles on the faces, which means you all did not underline, right? The elevation E is greater than or equal to 15 meters. Okay, so easy as that. E is greater than or equal to 15, right? It's easy. So what is E here? We have to say what's E. Now elevation means the height. Okay, so what, like it's like the height of a mountain. Especially we use these elevations for mountains, like to see how much the height is. So when they say E is greater than or equal to 15, now when the mountains can be, of course, in it, they can be more or they can be like, when we check with the sea level, so we say that it is negative because it's under the sea level. Okay, so here when they are not asking us about this, right? They are saying that it is greater than or equal to 15 meters. So which means any number which is more than 15 can be written here. So are we going to write here a positive number or a negative number? Of course we are going to write E is a positive number because you're going to be using all positive numbers. Okay, now next part, number 2. A passenger's age A must be more than 4 years. Okay, so underline the keywords A, more than 4. So A must be more than 4. Okay, now we have to say that what does A represent, whether it is representing a positive number or a negative number. Now age, can I say you are minus 12 years old, minus 30, minus 10 years old? If anyone asks you, how old are you? Can you say I'm minus 10 years old? Of course not, right? So it has to be a positive number. So A is a positive number. Now please don't say your age as minus 11 or minus 10, because, and then don't say teacher, our maths teacher told us to say the age like this. Always say how old you are in a proper way, not using the word minus. Write a word sentence for the inequality. Now you just have to say what does this word sentence means. So B is, what is the symbol? Less than half. That's it. If you're using the proper English way, I mean the correct, perfect English, you have to say B is no more than half. You can also write it this way if you want for a more challenging way. You can take this, but if you think you're lazy, it's okay, I will just write this, so you can use this. Okay, so if you're using the word no, you have to use the opposite of less, which is more. Okay, here M is, what's the symbol? Greater than or equal, right? Because there is the there is this line down, so which means E than or equal to 55. Now let's become professional English people and write the sentence in the correct way. How can you write that? M is no. You have to use the word no because you're using the opposite. So what's the opposite of greater? Greater, less. So no less than 55. because we cannot say not equal, because it can be equal. So when we are using the word no, it has to be m is no less than, what did I write here, 55. Okay, so m is no less than 55. Okay, question number 5. Explain the difference between these two. Okay, how are you going to write the difference? What does this mean? This means t is less than or equal to 4. Now what does this mean? This means t is less than 4. Here the difference is, in this it can be equal to 4. Here it cannot be equal to 4. It has to be less than 4. So the difference is this, that in this inequality t can be 4. So for this t can be 4. For this t must be less than 4. Okay girls, it's easy. Okay, now let's move on to question number 7. You just have to match. But before matching, you have to read it carefully. Now here we have the symbol less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than. Okay, let's see the first sentence. Walter sold more than. So here more than means more than 10 tickets. So more than 10. Which inequality is showing us more than 10 here? This one, right? So more than 10 tickets. Fewer than 10 children. So fewer than means less than 10 children. So which inequality has less than 10? This one, right? No more than, here you go. No more than means the opposite. Here they use the word opposite. So no, we have to use the opposite of more. What's the opposite of more? Less, because they use the word more. No more than 10 people can be seated at a table. So we can also take it as equal to, because when they said no more than 10 people, so either 10 people can sit or less than that can sit. So which one are we going to choose? This one. At least, there you go. Again, the word at least 10 people means it should be greater or equal to 10. So which one? If you have done all of them correct, I cannot give you a high five, but give a high five to yourself. Okay, well done, because it was an easy lesson. So again, there is homework for you today. I am sure you girls will start doing it after this video. So that's going to be page 475 from, okay, as usual, you know what am I going to say? Question number 2 till 9, and the next page 1 and 2. Question 2 till 9 on page 475, and the next page question 1 and 2. So till I meet you girls in the next video, do enjoy yourselves and take care of everyone around you. Have a nice day.